All right, hi, what's up, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am, of course, Hot Dogs, and I am here to do another installment of my Sims 4 American Horror Story series, and today we are going to be doing Season 5 Hotel. I have built the entire Hotel Cortez, and I have actually placed it in San Myshuno. I didn't want to put it in Del Sol because I already had a few lots there. I didn't have any in San Myshuno, and I felt like it being a tall building and stuff like that kind of fit the vibe of the place more. So that's where I placed it, and as you see, we have our main character finding the hotel and walking up to the front desk to meet Iris.
Lane, Finor! Huh? Karasha! Champa fome fez? Zombisi!
And of course, our main character in season 5 is Detective John Lowe, who is played by like one of those 5 brunette white male actors that are in American Horror Story that all look the same. He's one of them. Not too sure which one. And Iris, the front desk lady, is the one and only Kathy Bates. And I actually think that some of these Sims are my best ones, including the Kathy Bates one. I actually think it kind of looks like Kathy Bates. I kind of got the same style going on. I put her in a bunch of like vest and business attire mainly. But I actually think it looks a lot like her. So I was pretty pleased with that. And of course, we have the big grand lobby. There are some changes. One being that I don't have that mod installed where elevators work, so I can only put one elevator. So the main one doesn't go anywhere. It's pointless. But I still have the big gold entryway, and it's full of dark colors. Normally the upstairs is full of like doors and offices, but instead I put a bunch of lounge chairs for everyone to relax out by the bar. But Detective John Lowe is not the only guest in this hotel. As you can see, there are a few ghosts peeping around the corners and hanging out at the bar as well.
I've got dibs on this one, Iris. I haven't seen one that sweet in a while.
All right, and then we have Detective John Lowe being shown to his room by Iris. And I gotta give a warning. I just got a stray cat. I rescued it. And it's quarantining in my office where I'm filming right now. And it seems it has found the microphone. It likes to, look, you gotta see, oh, that's my keyboard. Oh. Say hello. But yeah, so, if things go abrupt in this video, Ginger here would be the reason why. But yeah, we have John Lowe. I think the character was like kind of interesting if they didn't make him being the murderer a mystery, because it's not a mystery. From like day one, you're kind of like, is he just the murderer? And yeah, he is. So it's just stupid. I hated that it was supposed to be some kind of reveal halfway through the season, because it wasn't. Alright, but instead of hanging out in his room for too long, John decides to go take a look around the hotel. After all, he is a detective. So he's kind of scoping the place out, checking out some of the interesting paintings that are on the wall and stuff like that, when suddenly he sees his missing son walk by. He's immediately confused. Obviously, his son's been missing. What would he be doing at this random hotel? Random cattail. And so he follows the boy around trying to find him. He ends up not being able to find him anywhere. And as a result, John decides to just go to the bar and kind of drink it off. Oh.
Dargo, Monica?
At the bar, John not only runs into a few of the ghosts, but also the bartender, who is another human in the building, and that happens to be Liz Taylor. She is awesome. I loved her character. I thought it was really fun. I liked that the actor went to Alaska, Thunderfuck, to ask for advice on it. I think that was interesting. When it comes to their clothes, I try to put it in a lot of colorful things, a lot of like shawls and loose clothing and stuff like that.
Oh, arrange your straw.
All right, and then also at the bar, he is introduced to our resident ghost, Sally, hypodermic, what? I don't know how to say that. Yeah, Sally is there. I don't really know how I feel about this character. I don't really like her, apart from I like that it's one of Sarah Paulson's only real scary villain character. I mean, I guess she plays one of the villains in Apocalypse, but not really scary to me. Where this one, Sally, was actually really creepy. That scene where she like runs to that kid and smiles and like grinds all her teeth and they all start falling off. I'm missing a tooth. I knocked one out when I was younger, and that scene actually messed me up. Like, I hated watching that. And there's a few scenes with her in the season that are just disgusting and grotesque. And that's kind of fun to see Sarah Paulson not just like screaming horribly. So I guess there's that. But besides that, when it comes to the actual character, her backstory, all of that, I could care less.
Young full of Paul trouble. Stevie, Jelena, Borday, Samba, Caution, Ruffle,
But even after drinking a few drinks and getting scared and intimidated by Sally, John cannot escape seeing his missing son walking around the hotel, and he actually happens to see him again. This time he decides to follow him, and he sees that his son is heading down towards the basement, and John has to go take a look. But while heading down to the basement, John passes our other resident ghost, which is John Patrick March. Is his first name John? I think so. Played by Evan Peters, he is the founder of the hotel, and he's an evil, sadistic murderer, and he is here living on the grounds as well to haunt for all of eternity. Not only that, but John also heads downstairs, heading towards the basement. When he walks down there, if you peek out one of the closets with a glass door in the back of the corridor, there is the addiction demon. It's just his skeleton. But, I mean, what even was the addiction demon? He got, like, no resolution. Like, what was it? No explanation. That's my issue with a lot of this season, honestly. Alright, but once he gets down to the basement, he actually sees that it is an empty pool. And in the bottom of the pool are these futuristic caskets. Sadly, we don't really have those. These are just those weird sleeping meditation futuristic beds. I don't know what they are. But he does find that it is indeed his son sleeping in them. And once he gets down there, his son wakes up. Sorry, this fucking cat. Don't mess up my recording, my dude. Okay, sorry. Once inside, he sees that Holden is indeed inside of a casket, and he is actually turned into a child vampire. I thought that was really fun. I wanted to do more like, I wanted Holden to like attack a few people, bite a few people, but annoyingly, like, kid vampires can't do anything. What's the point of being able to turn a kid into a vampire, but then them not being able to suck any blood? I thought that was so lame. I was like, why did I even make Holden then? But they are not alone in this basement level pool, because as soon as they really start interacting, reuniting, hugging, the one and only Lady Gaga's The Countess arrives. She makes a grand entrance and heads downstairs to approach the two of them. Now, when it comes to this sim, I actually did not make them. It's the only one that I didn't make. I was kind of tired of some of my sims just not representing anything like some of their characters. Because I'm just not that good at create a sim. So I did really want this Lady Gaga one. It was the only Lady Gaga character I was going to make. The Countess is iconic. She's one of the only good parts about this season. So I didn't want to mess it up. So I did actually just look up the Countess on the gallery and downloaded one of them. I wish I would have wrote down which one I downloaded. However, I did not. So if you think this is yours, write down in the comments below. I would love to give you a shout out on here and the credit you deserve. I didn't really change hardly any of the outfits. They were all pretty perfect, and I thought she looked great. So she has arrived, and she's here to kind of figure out what Detective John is up to. They actually start flirting like right away, and I thought maybe something was going to go on between them romantically. However, nothing fully progresses.
Koi ref sig. Yam full stab. Fwash. Don't brabum caro. Vanjib. Hampe Tibanu. Squame quaz.
Tip tip.
Oh! Flarba.
Oh.
Oh. Sharby Daza. Oba.
Vadish. Mubna.
They both talk for a while. I think Holden starts to feel kind of left out. So he just ends up going right back to bed. He's like, you woke me up for this. I'll see you later, Dad. And he goes back to bed. He's still tired from not getting any blood, since vampires can't do that on here. Vampire kids, at least. And then I actually thought the two of them were going to go woohoo, the Countess and Detective John, because they both left at the same time. They both started heading in the same direction. Of course, if you want to get to the upper levels, you have to take the stairs, because the elevator doesn't work. So they both start heading up the stairs. They pass everyone in the bar, except for Lady Gaga, and she actually stops to talk to the owner, Mr. Marsh. So if you peeped that, instead of actually asking Detective John if he wants to woohoo, she goes and asks Charles if he wants to instead. Oh, is his name Charles and not John? Or am I thinking of Charles Montgomery? I have this written down like right over here. But I'm just too lazy to like reach over there and flip through the pages of my notebook to figure it out. Relatable. But instead of following Detective John back to his room, we're actually going to follow the Countess up to hers, which is on the penthouse floor, the top layer. And this room was actually pretty hard to build. We don't have platforming as of right now in the game, so I couldn't really use that. And I didn't really know what to do because it involves a lot of platforming. So instead I just kind of built one vestibule in the middle, on one side being her bedroom and the bathroom, and the other side being a living room. The vestibule, the bedroom, the bathroom are all kind of a very cohesive theme. They're all like silver with neon lights and pops of colors, while the living room in her penthouse is red and dark and kind of like the original Hotel Cortez. So we head in there, and her and Charles, I really should look that up. Her and Mr. Marsh, I know that part's right, decide to woohoo in bed and get a little steamy, which I'm actually super hot in this right now. I'm kind of dying. There's a peek at his create a sim. Kind of just put him in some old-timey nice clothing. And while they're doing that, Detective John gets a strange urge to go check it out. So he heads upstairs to the penthouse and walks right into them doing stuff. And I don't think that any of them are too excited about it. I mean, as a ghost, Mr. Marsh decides to scare him. The Countess just kind of is hanging back, not really knowing what to do exactly. And then all the while, Ramona Royale decides to come in. And that is, of course, Angela Bassett's character, who I think is probably the most irrelevant character of the season. Like, who is she? Why is she there? We get that she's, like, Lady Gaga's ex-lover, but, like, what's the purpose?
Verba? Ninu Mabufi.
When it comes to her criticism, I feel like most of it's based on the promo looks that she was wearing, because I can't really remember most of what she did on the show apart from like how it ended and that she was Lady Gaga's ex-lover. They had like a makeout scene.
Oh, yes.
That's like about it. Like, what is the point of her? She fought the chick from Coven, right? Did she move the plot around at all? Like, I don't know. So after being scared so hard that Detective John passes out, as soon as he wakes up, right after Miss Royale decides that she's a little thirsty, she needs a little drinky. And she does just that with Detective John, just takes a big, oop, I scared my cat, slurp of him. And he passes out right away again. He's just going through it. Meanwhile, Lady Gaga has gone to the bathroom to freshen up, to get cute, to check herself out in her lingerie.
Mabsi Ina. Dab.
And I actually think that her bathroom is probably my favorite part of her house. I think it's really cute the way I decorated it. I love all the silver and the pinks, and I think it just looks really cool. It's like a futuristic club or something almost. And of course, Detective John does end up going in there and talking to her a little bit more, and they keep flirting. But again, nothing develops. They don't woohoo. It's a bit disappointing, honestly.
Shaby Booly Galan.
Bin Faheb, Timfi Bissig. Parsafe Froben, Skuma Plondi.
Simona Sero. Z Plume.
Twimble.
Oh, Exy. You're no. Trangella.
Alright, so apart from the penthouse, which is on the 4th floor, along with a bunch of other spare rooms that are empty because I got too bored to finish the whole hotel, and I was like, you know, they do like renovate part of the hotel. So those rooms are empty for you to renovate, create your own style of hotel if you'd like. That's the 4th floor. The 3rd floor is all the other guest rooms, but there's also a secret room, and that is of course the like kid vampire room. So it's behind a secret bookshelf, and there's a cupcake machine, there's video games, there's music, dartboards, anything that a kid really enjoys in this room. Alright, and as we see, Miss Royale has decided to hang out with Holden in there. So they're playing games, they're talking. He actually ends up pulling her aside to have a little chat with her on the couch, and things seem to be going well until they take a turn. And this is kind of where I tried to see if vampires could, like, vampire kids could do anything, and realized they really couldn't. But one thing that you can do with mods installed, of course, is toddlers can be killers. And that is exactly what Holden does. He decides to pull out a knife and stab Miss Royale right in the guts and drink her blood that way instead. Now, of course, everyone is running around, freaking out after this. Everyone just miraculously heard of the murder taking place, even though they were nowhere around in the hotel. His dad is immediately right there running into the room that he didn't know existed. And they're all kind of freaking out. John even tries to like sit Holden down for a bit and like talk to him, figure out why he's doing this, what's wrong with him, what's going on. He's just being a really bad detective.
Oh, Equa.
Stevie Bork. Total. Stevie Funo. Welcome.
Yambala. Whoa, hey.
But of course, it doesn't take long for the Countess also to hear about this. And again, I said that Miss Royale was the Countess's ex-fling. They had an old romance back in the day, so she still has something in her heart for her. So as soon as her body disappears, Lady Gaga's the Countess arrives in shock and horror. She's upset, obviously, and she knows there's only one thing she can do, and that's destroy the monster that she created. So she burns Holden to death. And it's actually a really slow death. He burns a lot longer than I thought he would, and it's pretty graphic. His dad, Detective John, is kind of freaking out. It's not like he can really do anything. It's not like he's going to be able to fight off a vampire who can just snap her fingers and light someone on fire. Like, it's not that simple. So he kind of dips almost. He just, like, runs out. And is just freaking out. But, of course, I have locked the doors, so there's nowhere for him to go, exactly. And no one else is really coming to the rescue at all. But we see that Lady Gaga is just kind of bitching about it to Sally. Neither of them seem too concerned. She's just like, ugh, look at this kid. I got rid of him. Thanks for killing Ramona. But that's not the end of my murder spree today, guys.
Zane Smacy, Tibanahu, Bempi Yorid, Janib Shrofa, Seneca, Uchima, Borbahe.
And again, I like that they don't react. They're just kind of bitching the whole time he's on fire and burning. But then the second he actually finally dies and passes out, they react in remorse and they're sad and shocked at what happened. Like, girls, you were in the room the whole time. But we do see, I don't know what I was trying to say, that we do see that outside the cops have arrived. However, like I said earlier, I locked the doors. They're not coming in. There's no arrest taking place today. Only murder. So it seems as though Iris and Liza are kind of just living their normal lives. They're like, we're just employees here. We don't get paid to deal with this. This is a no-tell motel, whatever. But actually, in reality, I think that Iris was looking up how to kill vampires online because she steps away from the computer and she books it upstairs. She runs all the way up there, runs into the kids' playroom, and she realizes there's one thing that she needs to do now, and that's kill the Countess. Everyone's kind of freaking out. Obviously, the Countess kind of ran the place, even though she wasn't the owner, like Charles Montgomery. God, what is his name? I just called him Charles Montgomery. What? John Patrick Marsh? It's like way too early. Right? Well, it's actually like 3:30 p.m., but I work nights and I've stayed up, so my brain's a little fried right now. Yeah, they're all freaking out. The ghosts are kind of yelling at her, like, "What are you doing? Why'd you kill her? She protects us. What are you up to? Why?" And you know, she's kind of just upset. All of them are just freaking out, not knowing what to do. And Kathy Bates actually ends up going into one of the bedrooms that are upstairs in the penthouse. One of those empty bedrooms only has one object in it, and that is a baby cradle. Because, of course, as we found out, the Countess has a vampire baby, and the only reason they did that was so they could take us back to the murder house. I think this is the season that really started, well, I guess Freak Show is the one that really started connecting the pieces of all the seasons, and this one, I think, like, that whole storyline is just totally thrown in there. Why did they introduce this vampire baby and then do nothing about it? Like, I feel like the last time you saw it was when Lady Gaga went in there and revealed that there was a baby there. And then, like, nothing happened with it. What baby? What? Who? Where? Like, that's my main issue with the season, is they introduce so many things and then don't do anything with them, don't finish them. It doesn't even go with the plot. Like, what? But tonight's not over, as there's time for one more murder. It's another act of revenge, as the ghost owner, Mr. Marsh, takes revenge for Iris killing his love, Lady Gaga. All right, and that concludes my Sims 4 American Horror Story Hotel. I hope you guys liked it. Of course, I'm leaving you with just the ghost remaining in the hotel and Iris, our lone employee who hasn't left that bar once this entire episode. That's an employee you need at your hotel, okay? But yeah, you can download the whole entire, it's actually technically 6 stories because of the pool. 6-story Hotel Cortez with all 8 Sims, including 2 ghosts, 3 vampires, 1 being a vampire kid, 3 Sims. It's a whole mess of people, an elderly woman. You know, what more do you need with this lot? This is one of my favorite builds, one of my favorite casts. I really enjoyed how it turned out. I was actually terrified to make this, obviously. Like, it was one of the last I made. This and Apocalypse were like the last 2 I made because they were the hardest to do. So I hope you guys like it. Of course, I want you guys to download it on the Sims Gallery at Singleton RW and create your own stories with them. I'd love to see what you guys do. When it comes to this season, however, not my favorite. Like I said earlier, I think it just introduces a lot of things and doesn't finish them. The plot seemed really weak. The big plot twist of Detective John being the killer wasn't a plot twist at all. His poor daughter that they always forget about. His wife is annoying. The kid army they make and then just kill off and nothing happens to. Like, there's just so much about this that just, like, doesn't wrap up, doesn't conclude, doesn't make sense. A lot of it's just gross. And I'm just not a fan. It's my least favorite season. It's the one I've watched the least. I know everyone loves it because of Lady Gaga, and I think she is good in it, but not enough for me to keep rewatching that season. So when it comes to the rankings, it would go Murder House, Asylum, Freak Show, Coven, and then Hotel last. Let me know what your rankings are down below. And of course, I post episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So stay tuned for Friday when I recreate American Horror Story Season 6, Roanoke. Until then, bye.